Ja Morant has been suspended indefinitely. Hey guys, my name is Manu Kamia, and before I jump into this video, I just want to ask you guys to give me the HBO special. That is the Help a Brother Out, and you can do that by hitting the subscribe button and leaving a like underneath this video. I don't like long intros, so let's jump back into the story. Not even 2 days after I made my last Ja Morant video about how he was accused of beating up a 17-year-old, Ja Morant decides to make headlines again for something that's terrible. So recently, over the weekend, Ja Morant shook the NBA world when he made headlines because he got suspended. Now, he got suspended because on Friday, after the Memphis Grizzlies played the Denver Nuggets, Ja Morant went to a local strip club in Denver at 5 a.m. Now, that's fine. I'm not one to do that, but that to each his own. But at this strip club, Ja Morant decided to go live on Instagram. Now, there's a recipe for disaster. Being at a strip club and then going on live and recording it probably isn't the best look for an NBA player to begin with, but that wasn't the worst thing that he did. On this live, he decided to brandish a gun and started flaunting it while he was singing to NBA Youngboy. The next morning, it made news headlines, and Ja Morant got a swift suspension from his team, the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, although the Memphis Grizzlies suspended him, the NBA launched and is currently doing its own investigation into this incident, and they're going to come up with their own verdict and come up with their own punishment. More on that later. Now, Ja took down the video after he realized what he had done the next morning, that this was a terrible thing to do, but everybody had already recorded it, and it's all over the internet, and everybody's already given their 2 cents on it. Regardless, Ja Morant decided to give an apology, which I do appreciate. I appreciate that Ja Morant realized what he did was wrong. Like, that is good, because there's another way he could have taken. He could have been like, oh, everybody's just out to get me, da-da-da-da. But he took responsibility. He issued a statement, and this is what he had to say in a statement. A statement from Ja Morant. I take full responsibility for my actions last night. I'm sorry to my family, teammates, coaches, fans, partners, the city of Memphis, and the entire Grizzlies organization for letting you down. I'm going to take some time away and get help on working and learning better methods of dealing with stress and overall well-being. Now, that's good. And what's also good for Ja Morant is that Nike decided they were going to side with him. They're not going to try and release him or drop him because they've been in partnership with each other for a very short time. So Nike still thinks the relationship is salvageable and his image is still salvageable, and they could still sell some sneakers together. So Nike decided to release a statement on the issue, and this is what they had to say. Nike's statement on Ja Morant. We appreciate Ja's accountability and that he is taking the time to get the help he needs. We support his prioritization of his well-being. Now again, that's great for Ja Morant. His endorsements aren't dropping him because that's half of his income. But this comes just days after Ja Morant was in the news because he was accused of allegedly pulling a gun on a 17-year-old after beating him up. So regardless of if Nike lets this slide now, this just doesn't look good for Ja Morant currently. It doesn't look good for his brand at all. Because back to the NBA. You know how I said the NBA is conducting an investigation independent of the Memphis Grizzlies and are going to come down with their own verdict? Well, in the collective bargaining agreement that the NBA has with the NBA Players Association, it is stated in there that if there's a gun, if a player has a gun on NBA premises, including a plane, it is an automatic 50-game suspension. And so the reports are that the NBA is investigating how the gun got to Denver. Was the plane on the Memphis Grizzlies plane to Denver? Because if so, that's an automatic 50-game suspension for Ja Morant. And that's what's going on right now. And Ja Morant is in hot waters, because if he gets a 50-game suspension from the NBA, not only is he going to lose out on money, he will miss the rest of this season. He will miss all of the playoffs, because right now the Memphis Grizzlies have 16 games remaining in a regular season, and there are a total of 28 possible games in the playoffs in total. That's a total of 47 games that the Memphis Grizzlies can play this year until the next season. So if Ja Morant gets a 50-game suspension, how is he going to explain that to his teammates? How is he going to explain to his teammates that he